Hey, Frida.
Hi, Madam MD.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Okay, welcome to my channel. This is Madam MD. So guys, welcome to my channel. This is Madam MD. I want to welcome all of you to today's topic. We are going to be discussing about kids maintenance and parental responsibilities. We have an advocate of the High Court of Kenya in the house. She goes by the name Fridah Jausiku. I'll be introducing her so that she can tell us more about child maintenance and parenthood responsibilities. Hi Frida, karibu sana.
Hi, thank you so much for having me in your show.
We
It's
are
a
glad
pleasure.
We are glad to have you today, and we are hoping that we are going to learn more from you and know what it takes to be a parent and what are those maintenance responsibilities we as parents have to our kids. Maybe you can briefly introduce us to the topic, and maybe you can say hi to my viewers.
Sure, this is a nice topic, and I really love talking about it because it touches almost every one of us. And I'm sure to our viewers, you learn something, and I'm sure that there's something about our discussions that will touch on you or your friends, your relative, or someone you know. So, child maintenance and parental responsibility is actually the right
Sorry, you went missing, Frida. So hi guys, as we wait for Frida, maybe you have questions that you want to us to discuss, or you have a questions that you want Frida to make it clear to us. Let's know what's that one question, and we'll be answering them right here. And for those that will not be able to answer, we'll have another session. I think we should create more of such sessions here with Frida, and she should be able to take us through this every other time that you guys. Hi Frida, welcome back. What happened?
I'm sorry for that. You understand how these technological hitches can really disrupt someone's meeting, but anyway, sorry. So
We
I was saying that issues to do with parental responsibility touches almost every one of us, if not our relatives, our friends, or our neighbors or people whom we can assist from what we are going to share today. So we're going to have discussions around the rights and responsibilities of a parent, a mother and a father, and also the rights of that child, either within a marriage setup or the rights of that child, even if the parents are not married.
okay.
So we will begin with our grand norm. That is the main law that sets the basis for child maintenance. May I first
Uh-huh.
begin with defining what child maintenance and parental responsibility is. So, child maintenance is about the rights regarding provision of basic needs to a child. That is food, shelter,
Uh-huh.
education,
Uh-huh.
emotional support, and just the basic needs that a child will need for development, for growth and development. These
Okay.
basic needs are very important. And for the reason that we are here today, the reason that we're here today is because our parents actually provided these basic needs for us. I know
Yeah.
you will really want to say that I'm bringing out the social aspect instead of the legal aspect. I understand, but you'll have to cope up with me because I'm actually a child rights activist, and I advocate for alternative methods of solving issues rather than going the legal way. So that's why you'll find me most of the time talking about social issues within legal issues, because I'm really trying to find of a way, because very many people fear the legal system and even
Yeah.
consider the legal system sometimes as corrupt, inefficient, with bureaucratic procedures. And that's why most
Yeah.
of the time you'll find me advocating for alternative methods of solving disputes and solving disputes relating to children and
Uh-huh.
child maintenance. So most
Okay.
of the times we do not really want to expose our children to the legal system in sorting issues to do with child maintenance. But yeah, you will find that the instance when one has resorted to going to court or involving third parties, that situation has really escalated to a higher notch. So as I had talked about Article 53 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, that is a law that states that both the mother and the father have equal parental responsibilities, meaning that be it within a marriage setup or be it outside a marriage setup, that is, you have kids with a person who is not your wife, you have equal parental responsibilities. That is 50-50. So I know you might ask me why the court sometimes gives orders requiring that one of the parents pays more than the other parent. Yeah, it happens so because when you go to court to enforce parental responsibilities, of which really we do not really want to go to that extent if we are still in talking terms as parents to the child. But in case we go to court, the court will actually look at the circumstances of every parent and mostly the financial capabilities. And this is the instance where the court will ask every parent to swear an affidavit, which we call an affidavit of means, where a parent will be declaring their financial capabilities, what they do, to the extent to which they can provide for the child. But the base or the bottom of, about all this is that everyone should provide for the child. That is, parental responsibility is not discretionary. It is mandatory. The child has that right, and every parent is obligated, and the law is clear about parental responsibility. So another law that provides for parental responsibility is the Children's Act. Yeah, we do understand that post the promulgation of the Constitution 2010, the Children's Act has not been amended. So you will find that the court has declared most of the sections of the Children's Act unconstitutional, considering that they were not in tandem with the Constitution, or they were discriminatory. Yeah, by virtue of Article 27, which provides that no person should be discriminated on any basis, be it race, gender, sex, cultural background, and any other thing. So considering that we have Article 53 and Article 27 of the new Constitution 2010, that will really provide, that will really protect our children and the Act in itself. Regarding the exact portion of the responsibility that a parent may want to support the child, that will be determined by court. That is, if the dispute escalates to court. But before you go to court, or in the instance that the parents are in talking terms, or in the instance that the parents are still agreeable with these child maintenance issues, they can sign a parental responsibility agreement. So a parental responsibility agreement, in essence, it's not cast in stone or has no specific format. It's just about the mother and the father of the child agreeing on the several issues around the child, including the custody, who will stay with the child, including who will pay for maybe the fees, the food, the shelter. And talking about who will have the child, that is custody. There are two types of custody. We have the legal custody and the actual custody. So legal custody is the general custody, including the rights, and the responsibilities, who will pay for what, how will the child be facilitated for school, for food and everything. But now actual custody is the physical, or who will have the child with him or her. Yes. So sorry for that, but it's okay. So and regarding now the actual responsibility, you will have to include that in the parental responsibility agreement, but in case it escalates to court, there are various factors that the court will consider in deciding whom to give the custody of the child. Yes.
Maybe some of us are asking, who can take this action ahead to the court? Is it the mother or is it the father, or they both have the right to claim the child?
Yes, so actually the basis of that question is Article 53, where I stated that both parents have equal parental responsibility and rights to the child. So you will find that the mother or the father can proceed to court where they feel that the other partner or spouse doesn't take care of the child to the extent that they feel that they should, or to the extent that the Constitution provides for it. So both a mother and a father can go to court. And actually, before you go to court, you will want to appreciate the alternative methods of resolving disputes. And that is when you find that most people go to the children's offices or look for certified mediators or arbitrators to try and solve the issues. But either the mother or the father can go to court.
Maybe you can just mention some of the offices where our viewers can visit in case of such the discrepancies, and how are they able to resolve fully?
Sure, that's an important question, because you will find that most people do not actually escalate these cases because they do not know where to go to. So you can either go to court directly, or that is when you want to represent yourself, or you can look for an advocate who can do it on your behalf. That is when you retain that advocate. Or still, there are some non-governmental organizations. There are also government departments who may assist you. So first of all, I've talked about the Children's Welfare Department, which is under the Department of Social Welfare Services. We have children protection agencies. They can also guide you. And then we have Fridah Kenya, which is an organization that has really been so of importance in assisting women who've had issues with child maintenance. We also have Q, and we also have Legal Resource Foundation and very many other NGOs. I'm sure when you Google about child maintenance, you'll have those organizations popping up in Google. And personally, the organization that I really interact with most of the time is Fridah Kenya. When you approach Fridah Kenya, they will guide you on how to approach courts. And after assessing you and maybe considering whether you're a person who can represent herself in court, or whether you'll need assistance of an advocate, they will assist you from there. Yes.
Okay, maybe you can just check on a few questions that our viewers are sending. And Calvin Omenda is asking, who is responsible for the fee of DNA? Maybe you can just introduce something to do with DNA and maybe answer his question.
Sure. So that question is actually very broad when we go into the details of issues to do with DNA and parents or spouses claiming that the child born is not theirs. So I will discuss about the instance where a father claims that the child is not theirs. Perhaps when a mother claims child maintenance, and the father feels or thinks that the child is not his, first of all, of course, that father will not accept to cater for responsibility, and that will actually force or compel the mother to go to court. And when they go to court, they file the court documents. The father, who will be the respondent or the defendant in that instance, will defend himself. And one of the points in his defense would be that he's not the father of the kid, and therefore he's not entitled to provide for maintenance. So that is when, so the person who claims that the child belongs to the other is the one who will cater for the DNA expenses. Yes, and those are children within a setup that is let's say legal, or there was a relationship that is. But in instances where a mother moves in with a kid, or a father moves in with the kids with another woman, or a mother moves in with the kids from another relationship, and the spouse who is receiving this mother with the kids or the father with the kids acknowledges that these children be part of their family, we will not need a DNA later by virtue of acknowledgement of these new children, and by virtue of accepting and living with these children whom the spouse came with into the relationship. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for that. Catherine Bosibori is saying, children born out of wedlock or in one marriage and the mother moves to another suffer so greatly. Majority have to endure the pain of the mistake made by their parents. I live this pain. What would you advise such a person?
So, and that is why I began by saying that you will find that I incorporate social issues into legal issues, and I give social advice apart from legal advice. In the instance where parents separate, or a spouse moves into another relationship, we should really not vent to our children, or try to punish our children try to punish our partners or our exes by using the children. You will find that there are even instances where men have tried to take away lactating kids who are still lactating from lactating mothers, and it is not because they really want the best interest for the child, but they just want to punish the mother. So the big mistake that we do, or that adults do, is punishing the children instead of in the line of punishing their exes or spouses. But all in all, the court, while looking at these issues and while considering issues around a child, will consider the best interests of the child. So you will rarely find a court issuing orders that are against the interest of the child, unless it's mistakenly, or some of the underlying issues or have been kept secret from court. But so long as all the issues are brought before court, the court will really look at the best interest of the child, which is the best interest principle, in making every decision regarding the welfare of a child. That best interest principle is actually provided in the Constitution, still Article 53.
Okay. Let me just check on the people sending us the comments. We have Victor Bor. Welcome to the channel. We have Sharon. Can court extend the responsibility of parents beyond 18 years?
That's a nice question, which is usually asked. And yes, court can extend parental responsibility beyond the 18th birthday of a child. So as per the Kenyan jurisdiction or context, a child is any person below 18, and even for purposes of the Children's Act, a child is every person below 18 years. But now there are instances where court considers that a child still needs the parental support, and that there exist special circumstances where a child still needs support. So the court, either on its own motion, or if a party requests so, may extend parental responsibility. Yes. So if you're 18, if above 18 years, or your child is above 18 years, and there are special circumstances, for example, that that person is no longer a child because they are above 18, but for purposes of extension of parental responsibility, we will consider them as a child. So in circumstances where maybe that child is maybe sick, or able in another way, or still needs a further education, which actually will enable him to have a better future. Because, for example, a child who has just a person who has just completed Form 4, considering the prevailing economic situation, is not in a position to sustain themselves. So those are special circumstances that warrant extension of parental responsibility 18 years. Those are just over 18th birthday. Those are just the examples.
Okay.
Yes, we also have instances where the court has extended parental responsibility even to cater for masters, meaning
Sorry, you went missing, Frida. Thank you, my viewers. I can see you sending your questions, and I'm so grateful. Let's wait. As we wait for Frida, I wish to acknowledge a few of you. Joan Zuka, you're saying wash hands. I don't know why you want us to wash our hands. We don't have food with us. We have Calvin Omenda. I'm really following. Catherine Bosibori, karibu sana. We have Calvin. Yes, karibu, Frida. Our guest is having some network issues. Let's wait for her network to stabilize. And I urge you to keep sending your questions. Frida, we can't hear you well. Please check on your network. Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me well. Let me know if there's an issue.
On the circumstances or on the
I'm sorry guys, our guest just left. She has some network issues, but we're hoping that she'll be back. We have Sharon. We have a child in the background. What a coincidence. Yeah, that's a very big coincidence. You have a child crying in the background. We are sorry for that. I know it's time to sleep, and yeah. So we have Calvin. You have another question. Sorry. You're saying, hello, Madam MD. In case of a lady run away with your child and get married to another man, who is responsible for maintenance of the kid? Guys, if you have an answer to that question, please put it in the comment section. We are still waiting for our guest to return. If you have a question, put it in the comment section, and you have an answer to any of these questions, please help us in answering some of them. Lilian Opondo, karibu sana, you're saying, nice one, Madam MD and Frida. We are so much grateful. We can get you, Madam MD, but we lost Frida. Let's hope that Frida is getting back in a few. Maybe I can send her another request. Maybe the previous one. Oh, can see she's here. She's with us. Frida?
Yeah, sorry for that.
Sorry, we lost you. Thanks. We are grateful that you're back. Maybe to continue, because I know you're lost. You were talking in the background, but we couldn't hear you. But we have someone here by the name, sorry. We have Calvin Omenda saying, hello, Madam MD. In case of a lady run away with your child and get married to another man, who is responsible for the maintenance of the kid? I also feel there's a conflict of interest in that question. So could you please clarify things?
Sure. So you're in a relationship. I really would like to get if the first the situation where Calvin is talking about a child from one relationship or one marriage being taken care in another relationship. Actually, issues to do with the legality of the marriages, first of all, will suffice, because if they were legally married with that woman, the second marriage is null and void. by virtue of their existing the first marriage. It will also depend if the marriage is actually that is the point. So if it was a legal marriage, or if the marriage was legally established, the second marriage will be null and void, because in our Kenyan system we do not actually have polyandry. That is, we do not have situations where a man is married by more than one a woman is married by more than one man, contrasted with the polygamy, which is allowed. So when we're discussing that, we'll have to go back to the Marriage Act and know which the laws or the kind of marriage that existed. But now, if it is in just a relationship where a child was born out of that intimacy or out of that relationship, and a child moves in with another person, and that other person acknowledges that child as his, and there's no dispute from the first relationship, those children will be taken care by the spouses in the second relationship. But now, if there's a dispute, or if the spouse from the first relationship wants to take care of the child, and actually that spouse can actually move to court and ask for orders pertaining that responsibility. And that will also go into the issue of the birth certificate, because the registration of birth, actually the law on registration of birth actually provided previously that a mother can opt to have the father's name not appear in the birth certificate. But that proved discriminatory, because now the child only had one parent in the birth certificate. It was not the wish of the other spouse, but now the child should have both parents' name in the birth certificate.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I hope it's clear to Calvin. We have Joanzuka. Can you guys pass a law on the time frame to be reduced like 2 to 3 months? Such cases should be acted swiftly. So thank you, Joan, for that insight. We have Kulewa Mweusi. Hi host, karibu sana Kulewa Mweusi. Umelewa nini? Sisi tunalewa maji, and we are learning this good educative topic that we have today. We have Enock Kiprotich. What's the difference between custody and maintenance?
So I think I can answer that. I think Enoch had not joined in when I was trying to describe the types of custody. And anyway, this question is a custody vis-a-vis maintenance. So maintenance is actually the provision, which does not only entail the material provision, but also covers the emotional support, the being there for the kid. But it's really hard to enforce emotional support. But what we can enforce strictly is a provision of the physical, educational, and medical support. So that is maintenance. And custody, on the other hand, is the right and responsibilities. So we have legal custody and actual custody. Actual custody is the physical being with a child in your house. Legal custody, on the other hand, is the rights or the responsibilities that you have towards the child. So when I say I have the legal custody, meaning that I have by a court order I have by a court order or by an agreement, have the right or the responsibility to maybe pay for the school fees, pay for the food, for the rent, for maybe the house help, and all those other stuff that the child will need. And when I say I have physical custody, I mean I'm with the child in my house. So you will find that in most or other instances, the court grants something known as joint custody, which encompasses both the legal custody and the actual custody. So the court may say that the mother stays with the child, but now the father provides for part of the physical or education and medical support. So that will be joint custody. Yes, I hope that is clear.
I hope it's clear to Enoch. Thank you. Eda Kirui, welcome. Calvin has so many questions, and we are so happy that Calvin you're following. So he asked, hello, Madam MD. There was a law that if you stay with a lady for more than 6 months, she automatically your wife. Is it still there?
That's a very broad topic, Madam MD, and I know it's really a topic that we will relate to very closely, because we know these relationships that can't really be defined as a marriage, as a fling, a thing, a relationship, But the Marriage Act 2014 is clear about the types of marriages that are recognized in the Kenyan system. So maybe we will host us one day to discuss about marriages, the rights of the spouses, and everything. But let me just start lightly, or let me just talk about it lightly. So the types of marriages that are recognized in the Marriage Act is the civil marriage, Christian marriage, Hindu marriage, Islamic marriage, and the customary marriage, which is done pursuant to the customary laws of the intended parties. So we call that relationship come we stay, that which Calvin is asking about. Yes, the courts in their decisions have recognized come we stay. But now that is, the courts have discretion, and some have inherent power to give orders or to make decisions. But now, strictly in the law, the Kenyan law doesn't recognize come we stay. But now, for you to satisfy that come we stay is actually a marriage, or you consider yourself a husband and a wife in a come we stay relationship, there are elements that you will have to prove if you're relying on that kind of relationship to be called a marriage. So you will have to prove that at least you've stayed for a period that can be considered that this is a marriage. So one is period, and the second one is that the outside world or the third parties have considered you a wife and a husband. Maybe you've been holding hands, going for shopping together, or these things that spouses do. That will actually, so you've told the world, or the third parties, relatives and family know you as husband and wife. And the third element that you will have to prove, which is not so compulsory, is that at least out of the marriage there were fruits, or you got children out of that relationship. So there are instances where courts have held that come we stay marriage is actually a marriage, but the Kenyan law as of now doesn't recognize come we stay marriage.
Thank you for that. I hope it's clear. And we have Mary Mwangi. Hello, Madam MD. Following the conversation, my question is, on what grounds is child custody granted by the court to a parent?
So, as I had said, this will really depend on the circumstances, the decisions, or the process of making decisions are not cast on stone. So there are several issues that the court will look at. One is the conduct of either spouses, or the conduct of the person seeking custody or the other spouse. If the other party proves to court that maybe the spouse asking for custody is a drunkard, has previously maybe abused that child, or something bad had happened while that child was in the hands of that spouse, the court, where after being satisfied, will actually deny parental responsibility. So the conduct of the parties, or the parties seeking custody. Another thing is the wishes of that child. That is, if the child is of an age that he or she can make a decision, because you will find that in other situations, and it has really happened very many times, the court might have granted custody to the mother, maybe because she is a girl, or because that child is of tender years, that is below 10 years. As immediately the orders are given, the child doesn't want to go with the mother, the child wants to go with the father. So that is one of the circumstances that the court will consider. Another one is the wishes of the relatives. There are very many things. It will depend on the circumstance. Perhaps Ms. Mary can share with us a specific instance so that perhaps you can guide on what the court might look at. But mostly or above all will be the conduct of the parties, because what the court considers is the best interest of the child.
Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you guys are learning, and if you have anything that you still want us to discuss, or you have anything that you want to add to what our advocate in the house has already said, please put it in the comment section. And if you want to be part of this discussion, you can just please send us a request, and I can add you, and maybe you can give us your suggestion or your contribution. Maybe I can ask one question before we get more from our viewers. And I have this question regarding inheritance. Do such kids born out of wedlock have the rights to inherit their parents' properties, and who like from the mother or from the father or from both?
So that's also a very, very broad topic. Different set of laws governing that area of inheritance, succession, and probate. But only to touch on it, children born out of wedlock, or so long as you have a child, be it from within your marriage, from any woman, from a previous marriage, are entitled to the property of the parent. So if for example, I'm a child from another relationship and I have been acknowledged into a family, I will be entitled to the property of that family. Or if let's say I have my dad has another family with another wife, but now I'm born from another wife who is not within that first marriage and is not married as a first or second or third wife, I will be entitled to inherit from my father. Yes. So you've seen very many instances where when succession begins, we find that children from other women actually the position is that they are supposed to inherit and they're supposed to be added to the list of beneficiaries, because if you look at the Succession Act, it lists children as beneficiaries or heirs to an estate of a person who is deceased. Yes.
And maybe to ask you, what if the kid is not known to the family of the father, and after maybe the death, the kids comes to claim the father's property?
It is usually so difficult in such instances. But if the man or the father has not been buried, that is where you see most of the people going to court immediately. The death happens for a DNA to be conducted to establish that person claiming inheritance is a biological daughter or son of the deceased person. But now, if you do not prove it, it will really be difficult. You know, our system, this is an adversarial system where the adjudicator doesn't go to the extent of investigating. He just decides based on the evidence that is brought before court. So based on your convincing power to the court and availability of evidence, that is when you can prove that this is my dad and I am entitled to the property. This is my mom and I am entitled to property.
Okay. And another question I may be asked on behalf of my viewers: what are the consequences to parents who fail to take the maintenance or to cater for their child?
I've not had your question, sorry.
I'm asking, what are the consequences to parents who don't take the maintenance or who are not paying for the child support, if I may put it that way?
Yes. So that's an important question. It really boils back to what should I do if my spouse or the father of my kids or the mother of my kids is not delivering their part of parental responsibility. So it's this way. If you hadn't gone to court, the next thing would be either you go to court or you seek a third-party intervention, that is by conducting a mediation or an alternative dispute resolution, or you go to court. And if if you had gone to court and the court had issued orders regarding who should do what for the child, and that person fails to do it, that is considered as contempt of court because you failed to obey court orders. Failing to obey court orders is punishable by imprisonment or any other punishment that the court may give. Yes.
Okay, thank you for that answer. Thank you for my viewers. I hope you're getting it here. Hope you're all learning it. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, please kindly remember to subscribe. Let me see if I have another question. And if you viewers have more questions, please ask them so that our advocate may answer them before we leave. Hey, do unmarried parents have equal rights?
Yes, as per Article 53, so long as you're the mother or the father of a certain child, you have equal parental responsibility. So it is the work of the court to establish your ability. That is now after swearing an affidavit which is under oath that you're capable to cater for the child to this extent. But the bottom line is it is 50-50 parental responsibility and right.
What if I'm not able to cater for anything and maybe the father is able to cater fully? Is there the law that says the father should take the full responsibility?
That seems so malicious, but anyway, there are instances where the mother cannot actually provide. But the social aspects come in here. We should really do our best to cater for our children, no matter the circumstances. You see, the hustler narrative, we should hustle for our kids. But all in all, the legal aspect is you will have to convince courts. You will have to convince courts that you're not able, by now declaring perhaps that you don't earn any income, or if you earn any income, the extent to which you can support the child, or if you earn something little, maybe you can support her partially. No, because now your part is 50%, but if your financial capabilities doesn't allow you, you may convince court and the court may make such orders. So if the court makes orders that you are not satisfied with, you may appeal to a higher court. Yes, for them to consider whether those orders granted were.
Okay, and maybe to ask, maybe not the final, what are those basic that we have to share, have? What are those needs that the court considers that we as the parents have to share equally?
Yes, so these basic needs are really fundamental to the growth of the child. One of them is food and nutrition.
Yes.
The other one is medication or health. And then education. And then we have and shelter. We also have others that, depending on your status in life or one's status in life, you might consider them as basic needs. We have luxury and entertainment. So the legal position is if a child was being maintained in a certain status of life or in a certain lifestyle, they should be able to enjoy that lifestyle even after the parents separate, for example. So depending on the status in life, you have to maintain the child that status. So for other people, entertainment and luxury is a basic need. Yes, so the court will also look at that.
By this status, you mean if my kid was going to maybe a group of school, or we used to go for holidays in Dubai, once we separate, that should remain like my
exactly.
Oh wow.
So if every holiday you would go to Dubai for holiday, you would go to Paris for shopping, we should actually see that status being kept on until the child is 18 years. And if there are special circumstances, even that responsibility goes beyond the 18th birthday.
Okay. Wow, I think that's so nice, and that was a very interactive session. I don't know what you viewers feel about it, but for me it was a learning moment, and it's lots of knowledge that I'm parting with, and hoping to share this to more people and to enlighten other parents out there who are not aware of this kind of content. And maybe our guest may have a final word to the viewers before we leave the studio.
So my parting shot would be to encourage every parent out there to actually hustle or actually ensure that their child is well catered for, not to the highest standards available. We do understand that you should provide the highest standards available, but do your best. Do your best. And for me, I mix the social aspect and the legal aspect. And I do not really like like the circumstances or the occurrences that happen in court when parents come to actually claim for custody and maintenance, because ultimately the person who suffers is the child. So let's love our children, let's be there for them, and let's provide for them to the best level that we can. Looking forward to more.
Yeah, before we part, allow me to ask a question. What about the case where maybe both parents dies and maybe the kid has to be adopted? What are some of the rights? Maybe you can briefly tell us what are some of the rights should such kid enjoy?
So adoption is a whole topic on its own, with its procedures, very strict procedures, because we do understand that there are instances of child trafficking and child theft. So to avoid that, there are really clear procedures on how to adopt kids. And in most instances, it is not necessary that child will be adopted, because regarding on who will take care of them, mostly we recommend that relatives take care of them. And even if you, as a relative, you want to take care of that kid, you will have to go or do something about that kid or their parents' property. You will still have to go to court. Yes, so all these procedures or issues affecting children have to go before a children's court for the court to determine, because you know that children are vulnerable. This is a lot that can't or can really represent itself. And this is a lot where people tend to take advantage of their existence, their parents' property, and yeah, their existence generally. So the court really protects children.
Okay, thank you for that. Maybe we can leave it at that point. I really appreciate the support that our viewers have given us, and I also want to appreciate you, Fridah, for joining us and giving us such information that most of us could not get it anywhere. Yes, we know it's in the Constitution, but we rarely read the Constitution. We rarely even know what it entails. Yeah, so we are grateful, and maybe we can have such sessions every now and then, and maybe we can give our viewers a chance, a platform where they give us the topics that they wish we discuss here, and you're going to consider your request and have them aired next time. So till next time, we wish to stop at that point. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it. Let's share this knowledge. So Fridah, say bye-bye to my viewers.
Bye guys, thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
Bye.